Give me that thing right there.
And look who's in our green room. It's talk show hosts Rick and Bubba. Yep, they're preparing. They've got a brand new book out for America's married people.
Evidently, it was ghostwritten, Steve, because they're reading it for the first time.
It's a good book.
What do I mean again? What did I say?
Come on in with your tips.
This business update is brought to you by the new 2010 Lincoln.
Couple headlines 15 minutes before the top of the hour. The race is on now in New Jersey. Former U.S. Attorney Chris Christie won the Republican nomination for New Jersey governor. He will now face incumbent Democrat John Corzine in November. And you remember President Bush's dog Barney taking a nip at a Reuters correspondent? It looks like the new First Family's dog Bo picking up right where Barney left off. It all seemed friendly enough, but that was until things turned to politics.
Well, what do you think about the Cairo speech? Yes. Yes. Yes.
From the way Bo handles reporters, maybe we'll see him in the White House press briefings soon.
Should have gotten the Labradoodle. Meanwhile, House Minority Leader John Boehner again calling for House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to provide proof that the CIA lied to Congress. Listen to this.
You guys, too.
I made this request to the Speaker more than 2 weeks ago. Either offer proof that our intelligence professionals lied to her, or that she should retract that statement and offer an apology. And to date, she's done neither. She's done nothing to address the damage that she's left by her unsupported accusations.
Does Ms. Pelosi have any proof that the CIA was lying to her? Who cares? Rick and Bubba are here. They're going to talk about it. They got a brand new book, which is now in paperback, which means it's bendable. It's called Guide to the Almost Nearly Perfect Marriage. And Rick and Bubba, first off, before we talk about you, because you are all about you, each other,
Right.
respectively.
And plus, we need to hawk the book and move it to #1.
Right, but very subtle way to bring that up.
Yes.
Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker, does she have to answer something that happened 2 weeks ago? Does it still linger?
Well, if you don't answer the question, well, yes. I mean, if you're going to bring accusations against the CIA that they lied to you,
right.
Then you need to explain yourself, provide the proof, tell us exactly what happened. You can't just say that because it made a good soundbite and then try to disappear and hope we don't bring it up again.
Yeah, but think about this. Two groups you don't want to get mad. The IRS
Right.
and the CIA.
Right.
Okay. I don't want those guys unhappy,
that's not
especially
good.
the ones protecting me.
Well, Nancy did. They did ask her a week later at her next press conference, and she said, "I've already spoken about that. I stand by my words." That's not an answer.
No, and the CIA has a long memory, folks. Let's just look at some of our theories out there on other things. Don't make them mad.
Don't you wish our politicians would just be honest, and just be brutal and go, you know what? I said that because the waterboarding thing was going on, and I'd been grandstanding about that.
Right.
I hate conservatives and Republicans, and really, I just said that for a soundbite. Now you're making me explain myself, and I'm not going to because I can't.
Right.
Then you go, well, thank you, Ms. Pelosi.
And then you move on.
But a lot of criticism has been aimed at the press corps with the Obama administration, and so quite possibly that would spill over to the Speaker. Do you think she will be continued to be asked that question when she returns from overseas trips?
Absolutely. She is going to have that question follow her till she gives us an answer that actually makes sense.
Yeah, now there's going to be a lot of media sources that will try not to ask her, but then luckily today we have multiple media sources who eventually will ask the question again.
Now, we are in the month of June. This is traditionally a big month when people get married. And look, you've written a book on how to have a happy marriage.
No, it's not happy. Don't use that word. It's not. We don't say anything about happy.
Yeah,
that was somebody else's book.
We started his book.
I was going to say, did you steal all the ideas?
Well, look, did you see how Willie did with it? and what I said is, here's how we're going to sell as many as Steve. We're not going to shut up about it. Right. And right now, we're not.
Steve did a pretty good job on
That's what I'm talking about. I mean, we had him on our show alone 12, 15 times. Now, here's what I want to say about this, and I'm just going to be real, unlike Mrs. Pelosi. We need to move this book to #1. I'm sick and tired of these Oprah authors being up there on the top.
Right.
I want to blow past these vampire books. I want to roar past the shack and go after this guy that
and
has all
the way
this
to do that
guru
is
stuff.
to have the content and tell me the content, and here it is. Why? How do you get the woman of your dreams? go to stalking and just slightly pull back?
Just pull back.
Under today's laws, we would have been found guilty because we stalked our wives. Guys today, they want to hang out. They want to just go as a group. Not us. We went after our wives. My wife tried to break up with me.
Right.
And you know what I told her? No. I said, it takes two to go together. It takes two to break up. See you tomorrow night.
Yeah.
And we've been married 20 years.
That's right.
Next month with 2 kids.
And my wife tried to pull the friend card on me because I'm slightly overweight and jovial. And I said, I already have friends. They're guys.
All right, we're going to continue the conversation with Rick and Bubba in just a moment. Plus, we're going to talk to you a little bit about something else in the news with former Alabama Chief Justice Roy Moore. Remember him? He's the guy who fought to keep the Ten Commandments in the state judicial building. Hear what he's talking about right now. He's got a new book and running for governor.
Then new photos of a young Marilyn Monroe. Rick and Bubba, look closely. Before she became the ultimate sex symbol. These photos just revealed the first time you'll see them. Now, next.
That was a good answer.
Hillary Clinton on the record. U.S. policy, Mideast peace, and Obama's all-important speech from each.
It'll always be good as long as that resident is here and standing.
This court hereby orders that Roy S. Moore be removed from his position of Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Alabama.
Well, remember him in 2003, former Alabama Chief Justice Roy Moore defied a federal court order to remove this, a 2-ton Ten Commandments monument from the state judicial building. The courts thought Moore's refusal blurred the lines between church and state, so they removed him from the bench.
Well, he ran for governor after being booted, didn't win, but now he's back at it, and he joins us live right now from Alabama. And Judge, say hello to Rick and Bubba. We know that you've got a long history with these two.
Good morning, Rick and Bubba.
How about it, Judge? How have you been?
Oh, it's been good.
Thank you very much. Hey, I'll tell you what, I bet your breakfast was better than ours this morning.
What did you have?
Nothing.
It was early.
Yeah, leftover bagels back here that Steve and Brian didn't want.
All right, Justice, let me get your thoughts on your book because it is called So Help Me God. Obviously, It's about what you went through. How are you using that message now as you run for governor?
Well, it's basically what's going on in the country today. The judges aren't ruling by the law. They're not following the Constitution. They're following their own feelings and their own empathies.
Well, we heard that word.
And is that unconstitutional?
Yeah, absolutely. Judges are supposed to follow the law, and that's why I have some problems with the recent consideration of Sotomayor.
In particular, what? Because she's already started her visits up on Capitol Hill yesterday. She met with a bunch of senators, and so far, everybody very polite.
Well, I mean, it's okay to be polite, but you've got to rule according to the law and not according to your feelings. And that's basically what Obama said. His criterion for selecting judges was their empathy for certain classes. And this lady has, in the past, made statements. For example, in 2001, she said that that Latina women, wise Latina women, would make better conclusions more often than not than white males. And that's not what law is all about.
Do you think that should disqualify her?
I think that ruling according to international law, she wrote a foreword to a book about an international judges, and I think, you know, we've got to understand that judges are sworn to the Constitution, not by their own feelings, and I think that's a problem.
Judge, I'm not going to make you swear in, but do you promise to buy Rick and Bubba's book now that it's out on paperback?
Well,
if they promise to buy your book?
We'll do that, but I tell you, they're two fine gentlemen and greatly respected in Alabama.
Now, where'd you first meet him?
Well, we started working in Gadsden, Alabama. Judge Moore was on the bench in Gadsden, Alabama. So we've actually been in Judge Moore's courtroom, believe it or not.
Right.
Really? I hope for nothing bad.
I actually tried to put them in jail, and it didn't work.
It didn't stick, did it, Judge?
And that's why you're via satellite, and they're loose in New York City.
Judge, remember, there's a little thing called statute of limitations.
All right.
Hopefully it's run out for you guys.
Alabama.
All right. Justice Roy Moore's new book is called So God Help Me, and Rick and Bubba's new
So Help Me God.
So Help Me God.
Boy, Steve.
You got it close.
That's right.
Hey, you want to hold that one?
And Rick and Bubba's is called
Just read it.
Guide to the Almost Nearly Perfect Marriage.
All right, Judge, I know you want to say one last thing.
I'd like to say that if anybody wants to know about my campaign for governor, they could go to our website, more2010.com.
All right, very good.
All right, Judge Roy Moore
Thank you,
and
Judge.
Rick and Bubba, what a pleasure to see you guys.
See you guys.
Have fun in New York City. Don't get in trouble.
Remember, our book is the things that Steve's book would not tell you.
That's right. Where your book left off, we picked up.
That's right.
You know, if we lay out, you're just going to talk for another hour, aren't you?
Sure. Yeah,
You'll just keep filling it
Can we
in.
just, well, I mean, you get to do this every day. We don't get here much. Y'all just take a break. We got it. All right.
We got to talk about Danica Patrick. You might want to listen
You
to
want to do the
this.
prompter?
NASCAR star Danica Patrick taking performance-enhancing drugs. Now the anti-doping agency getting involved. An American soldier and a dead and another wounded when a Muslim gunman opens fire on a military recruiting center, while police now think this is a bigger part of a larger plot.
Rick and Bubba, thank you very much. All right.
Could only let it be. You will see. I like you the way you are.
Kim, I wanted to talk with you about my home equity loan.
Oh, sure, Karen.